So if you're asking yourself why I'm dressed like this, it's because it's 50 days from my maturity exam, so we all dress nice. Hi, it's me Leah and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be talking about one of the craziest experiences that I had while I was in the US. For those of you who don't know, I'm Italian. I spent 1 year abroad in the US and I was underage, so I had to stay with a family, a host family. I got my first family assigned when I was still in Italy. I had 2 siblings and 1 dog. Just so you know, in this story, all the families I'm staying with have a dog and I don't really like dogs. So I had to deal with that. Anyways, they seemed perfect. They immediately sent me an email asking me when was my birthday, what was my favorite color, and all of that. They even painted my room with my favorite color. 2 months later, I get to Albuquerque and I meet my host family at the airport. There, the problem started. So a couple weeks later, we sit at the table to set some rules. The first rule, which is the less weird, they told me that they didn't want me to get a car ride from people they didn't know and whose parents they didn't know. That was pretty weird because they were practically strangers to me and I was 16. I think I could manage to know who is a good person, at least between my classmates or something. Then they told me the worst thing. When I asked them how I should call them, they said, oh yeah, we would prefer that you called us mom and dad. Mom and dad, for the ones who don't know, the moment when an exchange student calls his or her host parents mom and dad is very important. It could happen like 1 month in, it could happen in Christmas or something like that, but it could also never happen. So forcing an exchange student to call his or her host parents mom and dad, it's a really messed up thing. It could really make them feel uncomfortable because they didn't decide to do this big step, because calling someone mom and dad is clearly a big step. Okay, so back to my story. Basically what was happening here is that my host family was treating me like a kid, but there is one more important part of the story, which is school. If you don't know anything, you can go watching my American school video, but basically, just to make it short, I was put into sophomore while I was a senior, and that really annoyed me because the kids that I was staying with were very, very annoying. I told my host family, I told them how I was very annoyed about that, and they say, don't worry, don't do anything, we will take care of everything, just to make me discover a couple weeks later that they didn't do anything at all. They didn't call anyone because they didn't want to bother the school or the association, and that got me super mad. Mostly because as an exchange student, I understand that I have to adapt to a community, to a culture, but I also understand that people should meet my needs too. And my need at that point was studying with kids my age, studying with people I could bond with. Anyways, I've always tried to tell my host family how much I suffered about that, but they never understood me. They always said, oh yeah, you're gonna be the best in class, you're gonna be a smart kid. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, that's not what I want. Like, I want life to be challenging for me, not to be all easy. So back to my story, my host family, whenever I got to the US, started getting me eating a lot of junk food. They said it was healthy junk food because we went to Chick-fil-A. For the Italians and the European, for the Americans, what we consider terrible junk food is healthy junk food. So can you imagine? Anyways, because of this, I started to be on a diet, like not on a full not eating diet, but I started eating more vegetables, started eating more pasta, started eating like some protein sometimes, just to keep myself healthy and to lose a little bit of weight. So they sent me to a volunteer of my association one day, and I thought it was for the school, and that made me super happy. And I was like ready to tell them where were my problems and what was going on with me. And the volunteer told me, oh yeah, we're concerned with your health and with your eating habits. I was so mad. Like, I understand that they are my host host family, but I feel like you can't control a diet of a person that is responsible. Like, I get it, I might have some eating disorders, but that wasn't the case. I was just eating less. I wasn't eating as much as them, and I had a different body figure. I'm like 5 foot pretty much, so I'm very small. Okay, anyway, so let's go back to the worst part of the story. So again, they told me that I had a meeting with my association an evening, so I was very happy because I thought they finally got where were my problems and what was I concerned about. So I started preparing a speech to explain where my problems were and what I wanted for them. I was so happy because finally they will meet my problems, and plus that day I won the 3rd prize at the speech and debate competition. Oh yeah, I did speech and debate in American high school, and that was awesome. So back to my story, the volunteers come to our house, well, my host house technically, and they started talking to me. My host family started telling me that it's not about me, it's about them. It was the same problem they had with their children, with their dog, and I was like, why the fuck are you talking about your dog? Like, this is very painful. What is going on? That evening I had to pack, and in 2 hours I was out of that house and I had to go to another family. The family I went to had 2 dogs, which were pretty small, so I kind of find them nice. They had 2 kids, but they lived outside of the house since they were both in their 30s and they were married or engaged, and they were very nice. They were very calm. They were letting me being independent, and I stayed there for 2 weeks. After that, they asked me if I wanted to stay with them the whole year. So now who I remember as my host family were those 2 people. They really helped me a lot, and they really helped me during a dark moment of my life. Of course, I was never able to call them mom and dad because of what the other host family did to me, but still, I really love them. I still hear from my ex-host sister and my ex-host brother, and also my ex-host mom and my ex-host dad, because they did something really bad to me, but that doesn't mean that I don't have to forgive them. They still hosted me for 1 month. Honestly, I don't recall any of the major fights I had with my actual host family. They were very nice. Sure, we probably had some things to go through, but they treated me like I was an adult. But definitely I was acting like an adult, so it was a two-way thing. I'm so glad I met them, because if I didn't, I couldn't have met my boyfriend, and of course I couldn't have met my host brother, my host sister, which are people that are really close to me now. And I'm not very close with my host sister and her wife, but I've met my host sister once, and I talked with her wife once, and you know, they are still family to me, so it's a very special thing. I've been in contact with them till this day, and I really love them. Another important thing about my host family is that they accepted my boyfriend. I was 17 and he was 21 when we started dating, and while other people saw this huge problem, they actually wanted him to meet them. They wanted him to be at our family parties because they knew he was very important for me, and they ended up liking each other, so that made me super happy. So today's video is done. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to leave a comment. Hope you actually liked it. I send you all a big heart. See you next video. Bye.